Okay, so as you remember, we have our autoscaling group and we have a load balancer. And so if I go to my load balancer, we basically get to our application servers. And so what we want to do is not have this crazy URL. We actually want a URL that's actually going to be nice for us. So for this, I'm going to my EC2 management console and I go to services, and in the box, I type route 53 and we get to the route 53. So in there, we get this welcome screen because we haven't getting started yet, and we'll go to DNS management. So we'll get started with DNS management, and the first thing we have to do is to create a hosted zone. So to create a hosted zone, as you can click on it, you need to have a domain name and a comment and a type. And so as we actually don't have a domain name right now, first we have to do is register a domain. So let's go ahead and register a domain. So for this, you'll have to pay for it. So if you don't want to pay for anything, just look at me in this lecture. The domain names will cost money. So you click on register domain, and then you can choose a domain name. So you can choose a .com, a .net, basically how much you want to pay. But I'll just use a .com, and I'll register stephantheteacher.com. So stephantheteacher.com, let's check if it's available. And it turns out it's available, so I'll add it to cart. As you can see, it is $12. Now I'll go ahead and continue. And now you have to fill in your information, so I'll just pause for this. And then my domain has been successfully registered, so stephantheteacher.com. And now it says you can wait up to 3 days to complete, but it usually doesn't take that long. So we go to domain, and now the domain registration is in progress. So I'll just have to wait a few minutes for it to be completed. So my domain is now registered, as we can see. And so if we go back to hosted zone, we can see that hosted zone was created for us automatically because we registered that domain through AWS. So I can click on stephantheteacher.com. And as you can see, we have 2 records already created here, NS and SOA. You don't need to know what they mean for the exam. This is fine. What we want to do now is create a record. So let's go back to our EC2 console, just so we can have a look. And under load balancers, we can see our load balancer, and this load balancer has a DNS name, this one, okay? And we see that it is a record. So this points to an IP, but we didn't know about it, and the browser worked just fine like this. Now I would like to just change that whole DNS name by stephantheteacher.com. So how do we do this? Well, we first have to go to create record sets, and now we have to choose a type. So even though we want to redirect a CNAME because we want to redirect a URL to another URL, and we could set up a CNAME, if we go back to the EC2 management console, we can see that the DNS name itself is a record. And so because I told you the best practice for Route 53 was to set up aliases record when dealing with AWS resources, the thing we have to do is choose a record, say it's an alias, and then for the target name, if we click on it, we can see our application load balancer right here. So by setting this up, we have stephantheteacher.com redirecting to, as an alias, a record to our load balancer. So we click on create. And after a second, we should see that stephantheteacher is now a record. The value of it is an alias to our load balancer, okay? So let's have a look and see if it worked. We go to stephantheteacher.com, press enter, and we get the hello world from the IP. So now we've basically used our own URL to redirect to this. The other thing I just wanted to show you, just for fun, it's not best practice, but what if we use the CNAME? So we'll say CNAME test.stephantheteacher.com, and the value of which will be this whole URL right here. So I'll say the value of my ELB, so I'll just set the whole thing right here. And it's not an alias this time, so we'll just say CNAME, and we'll click on create. Okay, so we're created. And so now, basically, if we go to the URL name CNAME test.stephantheteacher.com and press enter, right now it says the IP cannot be found, so we have to wait just a little bit for the whole thing to be resolved. And here it is now, the DNS request is resolved. And so here we go, we have also the hello world from the ELB that is working. And so what I want to show you is that through Route 53, we're able to set up all the records we need, A records, CNAME records, alias records, and also whatever you want, as all the records are available for you. But you just need to understand right here how Route 53 works, and then how they can be used to basically point to AWS resources and have URLs that are going to be much more friendly to use in the future. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next lecture.